Welcome into Coach and Bro, presented by Afterburn, in theaters, September 19th.
Oh, and yes, here we are. For some reason, the stadium exec said 1 hour simply isn't enough coming out of BTT Studios. We need 2. And we want the fastest growing show in all of pro wrestling here on Stadium Bally Sports Live. There is only one. And we don't talk about the segments on Raw and SmackDown. We talk about the bigger topics in the world of pro wrestling. And there is no better partner to have than one that will argue with you, agree with you, but brings the credibility that nobody else can, because he was the greatest wrestling writer in the history of the business, and it's not close. I am the coach side. He is the bro side. Let's bring him in right now. Of course, I'm talking about from russosbrand.com, my main man, Vince Russo. Vince, how are you this morning, sir?
I am doing okay, Coach. A lot of crazy happenings in the world of pro wrestling, sports, entertainment. This Raja story, I mean, there's a different interview. There's a different headline every single day. Just an unbelievable story.
It really, really is. And there's a lot of topics we're going to talk about today, but we'll hit on this one right out of the jump, because this every day it seems like there, as you just said, a new interview or a new perspective. But it feels like to me it's a bunch of people trying to get out of the way of the legal train that is getting ready to come down the tracks. And the latest one is Rampage Jackson, the father of Raja Jackson, put out a statement basically saying, if you were a father like I am, would you bail on your son? Would you walk away from your son? And so it's kind of the first one I've seen of any kind of accountability, because so far through the statements and everything that the other wrestlers have said, it's them just getting off the tracks.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, I hate to say it because I'm of Italian descent. This is Mafia 101, man. The heat comes down and everybody's burying everybody else. That's exactly what I'm seeing. And I mean, Coach, I just came off of a show where we covered this for about an hour and a half. Okay. And we saw, footage after footage after footage, including Mark Henry and everything that was said. And Coach, all I'm thinking about, and I don't think anybody has mentioned this yet.
Okay.
Bro, if I'm Ari Emanuel and my management team, and I'm looking at the same footage we're looking at, and this school was affiliated with the WWE ID program, I'm sorry. Heads are gonna roll at the WWE. You've got backstage footage of this company that's associated with the WWE, and we've got barbed wire. We've got barbed wire keeping these guys contained.
Well, that's the thing, is they immediately to defend them a little bit, because a lot of these deals that were done, whether it's Booker T School, the Dudley Boys, this one was Rikishi's, was done to kind of, in my opinion, circle the wagons and also be able to have other people scout for talent to bring them into NXT. That was the whole reason for doing this. So they immediately scrubbed any association with that school off of all the social media on that side as well. So I agree with you that heads should roll. Rikishi wasn't, he wasn't there, but it's his company. So there's a lot of blame to go around here. But the bottom line is this, and we're getting more and more information that somebody had it out, and there was a picture posted yesterday of the man, Stuart Smith, I believe was his name. Vince, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Psycho Stu is his stage name, of him in the hospital with all of these wrestlers around him. And then one of the guys went out on a podcast and said that they've been instructed reportedly not to cooperate in this investigation. And if they're getting that advice, that's like the worst advice you can get, and then have it made public if it's true.
It is true, Coach, because they showed screenshots of text messages within the company, and they said
Wow.
verbatim, if you are approached by law enforcement. So they showed evidence and proof of that. And again, I'm sorry. If I'm TKO and I'm watching all this and our name is involved with this, because, Coach, let me tell you, they better hope that Stu Smith is a guy that doesn't want to burn a WWE bridge, because if he sues, and he is going to sue, and listen, man, when you get into a lawsuit, you sue everybody, Coach. We sue the building. We sue the person that owns the building. Well, very easily a part of that lawsuit could be the WWE, because they were associated with this company.
But let me ask you this: how could he, when all they are an affiliation? They don't help run the school. They don't have any stake in the game. So how could they be held responsible at all, I guess, is the question I'm asking.
I would say they're held responsible, Coach, because you have to know who you're in business with. If they're a WWE ID school, they're in business with the WWE. So you can almost look at it as an arm or an extension of the WWE. That's why if I'm the guys at TKO, I'm starting to question some people's judgments. And let's not forget this, Coach, because this was a hot topic too on our show a couple of days ago. Part of the ID program as well, Coach, was to keep guys from signing with AEW.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
let's not forget that. That was a part of the plan too.
Yeah, that's the whole reason, in my opinion, at the core, with a lot of the moves that they make, it is, whether they want to admit it or not, putting shows opposite AEW to try to get people not to watch them. To me, it's petty because everybody can live in the sandbox at the same time. But doing deals with these wrestling schools, 1,000%, Vince, it was to say, all right, if we find a future star, that star's coming to us. They're not going to go out anywhere else. And when you start to spread the web, so to speak, if I was Stu Smith, I don't know what I would do, because I don't like to talk about that kind of stuff, because I hate it. I hate when people sue and sue and sue. But in this instance, there's no question that's going to happen.
Yeah,
there's no question that's going to happen.
Coach, I just watched the video of the cowboy, the guy that was telling him about the receipt, give him the receipt, yep. AJ something. Mm-hmm. I just saw him cutting a video talking about everybody drinking backstage and alcohol. And I'm like,
you're kidding.
No,
you're kidding.
We just played the clip on my show. And again, if I am TKO, and I am horrified at this point that somebody suggested that this school be associated with the WWE. Now you have a wrestler on there talking about drinking before shows and people being intoxicated at shows. It's unbelievable.
Wow, it really is. And I saw everybody's weighed in on it, from big shows like ours to much smaller shows, people that haven't even been in the business. And I think the universal takeaway from this, whether he was in his right mind or not, according to his dad, he had a head injury. Clearly, there has to be some more in charge people at these smaller shows. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah. Absolutely, Coach. Yes, there has. What is it when you go to the prom? You got it. And parents.
Chaperone.
Yes. We've got, bro. Listen, when this arena is enclosed with barbed wire and nobody can get out, we need to have chaperones. Coach, let's have a chaperone there, please.
Oh man, I've looked at it from every angle too, and I'm sure there's some really good people that wrestle there, and all of these schools, people, you need to understand, these kids or adults are paying to learn how to wrestle at these schools with the hope of making it to the big time. So I feel bad, Vince, for some of the talent that was strictly there to try to make a name for themselves in this business, because they all can't be dumb or stupid and drinking backstage and cracking empty beer cans over somebody's head who's not a worker in the business, is an MMA fighter. There's going to be a lot of people that are collateral damage in this, and that sucks. It really, because there aren't schools everywhere, right? It's not like you can just go down the street and there's another wrestling school to go to. So I feel bad for them. Do you think, I don't even know where they go from this, if the school will even exist when it's all said and done.
Coach, we always hear a term, being in the business, but you always hear a term, but you almost never see it. And we always hear the outlaw indie shows. That's what this was. And you guys are seeing this. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that every indie promotion is like that. I'm not. That would be a lie. That is not the truth.
No, there's some really good ones.
Right. But there are some that are like this. And this is a part of the overall wrestling business. And Coach, I just want to ask you this real quick, because I just saw the comments for the first time, and I know you work with Mark Henry, and I love Mark to death. Mark started when I started, but Mark, like, I'm listening to Mark and I'm understanding what he's saying, but then he was putting part of the blame on, Psycho Stu, and I'm like, Mark, he hit an unconscious guy 23 times. If you have a problem with somebody and you want to give him a shot to the face, fine, no problem. Stu's out of line. The guy doesn't know this is a work. I understand all that. He hit an unconscious guy 23 times, Coach.
Well, and that kind of shows you the difference in people that are in the business, because I saw what Mark said, and I also saw what JBL said with Conrad. And JBL said it straight into the camera. This was attempted murder. He said it. This was assault 23 times, 22 times, all of that kind of stuff. And those are two Hall of Famers. And they had two completely different perspectives on this incident. And it kind of shows what the wrestling business is. Because, Vince, when we talk about it all the time with celebrities and coming in and being a part of, whether it's Travis Scott blasting Cody in the ear, but then you got Jelly Roll, who actually trained and did some really good things. When you have a non-worker that's participating in a clear bit, you got to make sure they know what the hell's going on. And clearly there was some rage issues going on, or he did not understand what a true receipt is, because a receipt is just getting one shot in, letting them know you're there.
Yes.
It's not straddling them and laying in real punches when you're completely knocked out.
And a receipt, Coach, happens in the body of a match. A receipt is not called beforehand. This was called beforehand. A receipt is when somebody potatoes you in the ring. The receipt is they get one back, and that's how you send the message, like, you hit me a little too hard. This was premeditated. We don't talk about receipts prior to a match in the wrestling business.
No doubt about it. It's when you piece all of the videos together, and that's another thing. This was being streamed on Raja Jackson's Kick stream, which is similar to Twitch, same type of thing. And the fact that all of this was shot on video makes it even worse.
Yeah.
But maybe it makes it even better too. So we actually don't have to go to 5 years of being in court and he said, she said, and now you've got all these people being on podcasts and saying we were told. It's clear that all of these people, they said, we want nothing to do with this. I'm taking myself out. Here's my statement on a podcast, and we move on. And that's
I just don't understand, Coach. To me, the mystery is, why hasn't he been arrested yet? I mean, you've got a man, sitting in a hospital with a broken face, with missing teeth. So that is clearly telling the police this is not a work. I don't know why he hasn't been arrested yet.
Well, I'm sure that's going to come very, very, very soon. All right, we're just getting started here on Coach and Bro. On the other side, a birthday party that was very interesting. It's Coach and Bro live on Stadium, presented by Afterburn. All right, we continue with you OGs on our YouTube page. We'll try to get to as many super stickers as possible, and then we'll do the rest at the end of the show at noon Eastern. Vince, Shilly says, I love the show, Coach and Bro Show. Maven, I loved you interviewing the Rock Bro. Thank you for attitude. Can I get Ralphie Mack? I think he thinks I'm Maven. That's okay. He's a good-looking dude.
Yeah, very attractive man. Very attractive man, yes.
And he wants to back up his title, his super sticker title. Sean McDermott said, amazed by Maven's reaction. Basically, it's Stewart and the pros' fault. Raja has no experience, doesn't understand pro wrestling, and doesn't know how to throw working punches. You're kidding me, Maven. I haven't seen Maven's reaction to this, so I don't want to speak on it if I haven't seen it. But, Vince, I think that's the very clear divide here, is those in the wrestling business saying, hey, he doesn't know how to throw working punches, or B, this guy was at fault because they decided to do a bit including them. Those are the two sides here.
Okay, and I understand all that. I really do. I do understand both sides. He hit him 23 times.
That's where I stand. That's
Game
where I
over.
stand.
Game, not once, not two shots, 23 times.
And I had some people argue about the other side of it. The other side is the MMA side. If you're in a UFC, PFL, whatever, and you're in a cage, the referee would have jumped in after one or two punches in their eye. But say they didn't. Fighters stop when they know the guy's knocked out. They stop.
Yeah.
They don't continue on. And I think to your point, that's all that needs to be said. 23 punches.
Yep.
To the face.
Yep.
To the face.
Yep. And
the more you watch it, the more I just get more and more enraged at the whole thing. All right. We've got a very interesting birthday party, Vince, that we got to talk about.
Yes.
We're going to be back. I mean, very interesting. And some things that were done that I think there's more to it than what we think. So we're going to talk about that. We are back live on the Stadium Network here in just 10 seconds. An 80th birthday party heard round the world. We're discussing it right now. We're back in 5. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Coach and Bro Show here live on the Stadium Network. Every single Thursday, we go live for 2 hours, and we thank all of you for supporting us to allow us to do that. All right, Vince, our second topic today, and this one's very interesting because when it happened and I saw the video, I was like, oh, there's 3 or 4, but now it's come out that there were a lot more WWE people than we thought at Vince McMahon's 80th birthday party at Gothic Hall in New York City. Kid Rock played, AC/DC played. So clearly Vince McMahon spent millions on this birthday party. But Vince, I want to show you a picture that has since been deleted by Jerry the King Lawler. Take a look at some of the faces in this picture. Clearly it was a black tie event. Miz is there. Miz's wife, currently still in the WWE. Drew McIntyre, Sheamus. There's the King, and then oh my gosh, from Tampa. He's on King's Court right now. But let's focus on the WWE people. What did you make of the fact not only were they there, but now the King has taken this picture down off of his social media? What do you make of that?
Well, you know what, Coach? We talked about this on the last show, but there was one name we did not bring up that's, again, of course, the 2 huge names of Stephanie and Triple H who did not attend.
Mm-hmm.
Another very interesting name that did not attend that we did not bring up, one Paul Heyman did not go. And here's my takeaway from this, Coach. Think about this. So you've got Bruce Pritchard going and Paul Heyman doesn't go. Then you've got, Stephanie and Triple H. Coach, these people are working together.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are deciding to go to Vince's birthday party. And let's face it, if you're deciding to go to his party, you're standing by Vince. If you're not going to his party, you're not standing by Vince. But these people are working together in the same company. Think about that, Coach.
It's It should be in the real world, or in a world if you want to go and support your friend. And my gut is that a lot of the faces that you see, and it's probably the same reason I feel conflicted. And you and I have talked about this many times, privately and publicly, that Vince McMahon was responsible, or we feel like he is responsible for a lot of things in our lives. I have two beautiful children that just came in to say, Dad, I love you. And I wouldn't have those two children, at least in my mind, without being in the WWE, because that's how I met my then wife. I think people like Miz, who've been there for almost 20 years, that's how they feel. So the court case has kind of come to a standstill. So it almost feels like to me that a lot of them, regardless of whether they work there or not, are saying, hey, listen, until this thing plays out and he's proven one way or the other, I'm going to stand by my friend. I'm going to stand by my former boss. I'm going to stand by the guy that gave me everything that I have materialistically and in my life. Does that resonate with you? Does that make sense? Do you think that's part of their thought process?
Oh, man, Coach, you and I are very kid orientated. Okay. And listen, Coach, we know where there's smoke, there's fire.
Mm-hmm.
We know there were a bunch of NDAs, and NDAs mean I am going to pay you money to keep your mouth shut. Well, what keep your mouth shut about what? That means we're now hiding something. That's what that means. Coach, have you ever had anybody sign an NDA in your life to not spill the beans?
No, I had to do them for like projects that I was working on.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but not hush money. We're talking about hush money. The hush money is a fact. I don't like that. And again, if my kids are online and they're reading about all this, and then I'm associating myself with somebody like this, I've got to explain myself. So to me, it goes beyond the Janelle Grant case. This guy was paying hush money for women to shut up. I have a problem with that. But again, Coach, we're all different. We're all different. Maybe everybody in this picture doesn't have a problem with that. I would have a problem with that.
So let's take it to a different place then. Let's say they don't. Let's just hypothetically speaking. We all know the score. We know what perception is. And whether or not you want to support him or not, also, my career is important to me. And the fact that WWE has, and TKO more specifically, has stepped away from the Vince McMahon business in such a large way tells you everything. So if I'm sitting at home and I get an invite to this birthday party and I work for the WWE, and I say I'm Bruce Pritchard, who sits at Gorilla 10 feet away from where the wrestlers walk out every single night, and he's been in the company for 40 years, when all the perceived Vince McMahon guys have been pushed out, with the exception of Bruce and Triple H, I would have to seriously think about my career more so than just, do I not feel good about the fact that he paid hush money? Because if you get, I guess, labeled as a Vince McMahon supporter within the walls of WWE, wouldn't you think that TKO might have a problem with that?
Unless these people honestly and truly believe there's going to be a Vince McMahon comeback. Think about it, Coach.
Wow.
Listen, we're talking about, no matter what way you slice it, and you and I don't have to know the facts, we're talking about picking sides here. Mm-hmm. And you've got to pick a side. Either I'm picking TKO's side or I'm going to Vince's birthday party. You've got to pick a side. And this is Russian roulette, because you've got to make sure you're picking the right side. There isn't a doubt in my mind that Bruce Pritchard, in his heart of hearts, does not believe that at 80 years old, Vince McMahon is going to make a comeback and be on top again. There is no doubt in my mind. And so you have to look at a picture of the people that went to this. Do they believe that as well? You've got to understand, these are friends of Vince McMahon's.
Yeah.
They know what he's doing. They know what his game plan is. You and I are sitting here. Everybody else is guessing. We don't know what this dude is up to. They know.
All right, but you just said, I want to make sure that you didn't misspeak. You just said that you think Bruce does not think Vince is going to make a comeback.
No, he does. No, he does.
Okay, all right, so you misspoke.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I want to make sure. Okay.
Oh, yeah, Bruce is at the top of the list.
Yes.
Vince 1000% is going to make a comeback. So you have to understand these conversations with Taker and Bruce and John Cena and the people the closest to him. They're privy to what Vince is up to.
1,000.
They're privy to the Janelle Grant case, what they have on Vince, what they don't. They know. So if they're going to Vince's party and TKO is on the other side, man, I don't think you're doing that unless you feel pretty confident that Vince may wind up in a driver's seat once again.
And you're going to be at the top of the list if he does do
that.
Yes. We said we stayed. If you watch Coach and Bro we've been on the air for a little bit over a year now. We've been very consistent in what we believe is going on and what ultimately will happen. And when you're 80 years old and you only talk to one of your kids, so you're not leaving your money to anybody but I mean, I guarantee you Stephanie's not in the will anymore. I don't know that, but the fact that they voted him out, they haven't spoken, they were not at the birthday party tells a lot. But to me, I'm not going to go down with $6 billion in my pocket. I'm going to use it. I'm going to try to rebuild my name if possible, and I would like my close friends to be there, and I will overpay them if necessary to get them to come work with me. So if that's my thought process and you're one of those guys and you go, man, I hate to make everything about money, but I can make double going to work for Vince. I think some would do that.
And another name on the opposite side of that fence that Vince McMahon made a lot of money but was not at the birthday bash, Nick Khan. Nick Khan was not there. Nick Khan is over on the Stephanie, Triple H, TKO side. And Vince McMahon was responsible for making that guy millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Vince, I was at the start of that. I was a part of all of that.
Yeah.
The way it happened, I got a call from Vince. We need to get on because we need to negotiate the deal with another network. We got to make more money. And ultimately, it was Fox. And Nick Khan was brought in from CAA. He was, for people who don't know, he was arguably the biggest sports agent in America.
Mm-hmm.
And he negotiated, well, if you call it that, my second deal at ESPN. But then he left that world to be the president and a $15 million signing bonus to be the president of WWE and share responsibilities at one point with Stephanie, which just adds a whole nother layer to this whole thing. And let's not forget, Vince, about the famous quote from Paul Heyman at the Hall of Fame. Remember what he said? I'm a Paul Levesque guy.
There you go.
I'll forever be a Paul Levesque guy. So when this came up, they had to discuss it. However Vince put the invitations out, whether it was a phone call. I mean, this was a big party. This is Kid Rock. This wasn't like a small shindig in the back room at a restaurant. Big party. And so that Paul had talked with Triple H about this.
Yeah. And somebody had to tell Lawler to pull that picture. He's not Jerry Lawler, one of the smartest men that has been around this business for 50 years. He's not going to put a picture up and then take it down. Somebody would have had to tell him to take it down for whatever reason.
He barely tweeted before. He's not a social media guy.
Yeah.
And he's also, I think he's north of 80 years old. Yeah. So the King's the one person in this picture that does not give a damn.
Right.
He does not give a damn. His career is over. He's just now existing and hopefully enjoying life. He damn near died on camera a few years ago.
Yeah.
So at this point, he doesn't care. He's like, you know what? I'm just hoping I get another 5 years. That's what he's hoping. He really is.
But just the fact, again, like I said, Coach, just going back to these people are working together side by side in the same company. Can you imagine?
No. I mean, are we talking about it when we get to Monday Night Raw or, hell, Clash in Paris? Who knows? All right, we're halfway home. I love doing the Coach and Bro Show live. I absolutely love it. On the other side, more fallout from Hulk Hogan and his passing. Also, Jake Hager We've had him here on BTT Conversations. He is blowing up AEW. We'll explain. Coach and Bro, presented by Afterburn, right here live on Stadium. All right, you OGs, we continue on. Did a few super stickers. Keep them coming in. We'll get to all of them, whether it's in the breaks or it's after the show. Vince, Papa Reigns has always felt we were being worked even by Triple H and Steph. I don't believe they ever stopped engaging with Vince, and the evidence continues to stack. At the end of the day, that was Daddy's girl, wasn't it? I don't think there's any evidence that they're communicating at all.
Yeah, and the key word is that was Daddy's girl. Was being the key word. Absolutely.
She voted him out.
Coach, when they voted him out, it was game over.
It was over, right?
That's when he said, "You're getting this company over my dead body. You're coming out of the will. Game over."
Amazing. Kartik Manjuri says Vince McMahon still owns 3% of TKO, one of the biggest shareholders. That is true. Technically, aren't all these wrestlers people still working for him? No, because he does not have a controlling interest in the company. He cannot vote. He cannot do anything. He just benefits Vince from if they make more money. That's essentially it. Essentially it. Last one, Sean McDermott. Again, we love you. Maybe we make Sean a controlling investor in our show. Be serious, Vince. Paul Heyman doesn't have time for a birthday party. He's writing WrestleMania 2030.
Yeah, you are right. Silly me, Sean. Silly me. Yes.
What are you thinking, Vince? Paul just said that. He goes, I don't have time to think about it. But The Rock not showing up. I'm writing WrestleMania for this person. This person. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. That's hilarious. That's a line of the day. That is absolutely the line of the day, writing WrestleMania. So ultimately, because we got to put this topic to bed and move on, we got about 30 seconds, Vince. Do you think there'll be any fallout from any of these people publicly that went to the birthday party?
Over time, yes. Things don't work immediately in wrestling. Over time, yes. We will see people in the doghouse, yes.
There's ways of getting a receipt, as we've already talked about. Yes. I got a receipt when I didn't go to Afghanistan.
Yes, you did.
And I got beat up by Taker and Batista after the show was over.
Yes.
But not like that.
Right.
It was a working beat up.
Yeah.
Still hurt, though. We're back live. We're at the bottom of the hour in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the Coach and Bro, presented by Afterburn, in theaters September 19th.
Okay, welcome back to Coach and Bro. We have crossed the bottom of the hour. If you're watching us live, it's 11:32 in the East, 8:32 in the West, where I am sitting right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live here on the Stadium Network, Bally Sports Live, YouTube, social media. However you consume us, we certainly do appreciate it. And thank you to Afterburn coming on as our presenting sponsor until September 19th. Now, Vince, a couple of topics this segment. We wanted to, because the episode with Bubba the Love Sponge is still getting a lot of love on our YouTube page on demand. You went a full hour with him after I had to leave and go do something else. So you guys got into a ton of different things, but the biggest part of the story that continues is what happened with Hulk's body, no autopsy. But this week, Bubba had Brooke Hogan back on his show, and she admitted that she did see his body after he passed, correct?
Yes. She said she did see his body. She went, I guess it's Clearwater. She went there a couple of days ago. She even said she looked at the body because she wanted to see the scars to validate that there was an autopsy. Think about that, Coach. Wow. I could never do that in a million years. Think about the strength to do that. But she said she looked at the body and there was an autopsy performed. But the question never asked, because I listened to the interview, was, we know that his wife had the autopsy, but those results have not been released
at all.
And Brooke didn't address that when she was on Bubba's show. And that was the first thing I wanted to know. What did the autopsy say?
I think that's what we all want to know, because there's accusations out there, and Bubba talked about it on with us, of medical malpractice. Now, right after we had him on, of course, all of the dirt sheet webs. We don't need credit for these things. That's not what we have these guys on. But they used all the information from the show for their articles, and they said medical malpractice, essentially that his doctor, because this was really prevalent when I was there, and I'm sure on some level, Vince, it still is, especially with OGs that aren't getting drug tested actively in the WWE, that the doctor he used was notorious for supplying what's the word? Opiates, whatever they are, and that could have led to, because of the illness he had before, his death, because he had just come home from a month in the hospital.
Yeah. But Brooke also did say, and I was happy to hear this, she said that Hulk's, last wife was cooperating 100% with her and with the Clearwater Police. Yeah, she said she made that clear multiple times. But again, that led me to question, well, what's the autopsy?
I wonder I wonder why they haven't, because almost every single person that passes, celebrity or not, you see it in a newspaper or on a website. Person A passes away, autopsy revealed this. Yeah. TMZ all the time, and this is a TMZ story. Yeah. They had a documentary on this, a full hour. So why haven't they been able to get the results of it? I can't think of a reason why it wouldn't be revealed unless somebody involved had a hand in something. That's the only thing that I can think of.
Yeah, I can't either, Coach, because, again, that was the one thing that they didn't address on Bubba's show, and I was a little surprised.
Okay. We'll keep our eyes on this. If you haven't watched the entire episode, you can go to our BTT YouTube page. It is there. It's an incredible conversation with one of the closest members of Hulk Hogan's life in a lot of different ways. So you can hear him, and I didn't think for 1 second. And we got such a positive reaction from that interview. I thought it was going to be kind of 50-50, but Bubba was incredibly forthcoming. He was incredibly honest and detailed. And I was thrilled that you were able to get him on, but also what he delivered, I thought was really, really good.
Yeah, again, that was a 15-year friendship, very, very, very close. He knew Hulk better than anybody. So, and I could tell you he's a straight shooter. So I believe what he says.
All right. And coming up in the next couple of weeks, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we have another big guest lined up. Can't tell you who it is yet, but I promise you'll want to tune in for that. All right. Another thing that took headlines the last couple of days, one of the original people, Vince, we had on Behind the Turnbuckle, as we do our interviews periodically, was Jake Hager, formerly of the WWE and then AEW. He goes on a podcast, and apparently he's got some real issues with Tony Khan and AEW and how they go about their business. And he let it fly. Let's play a little bit of that sound. Jake Hager on a recent podcast on AEW.
Anyways, I always find a way to say this every day, so I think everyone should too, say Tony Khan. I could tell that he didn't want me there. He offered me like a year and a half. I was like, bro, I just did Stadium Stampede twice. Like, don't act like Stadium Stampede didn't put AEW on the map. I was in the debut episode. I was the big spoiler, and you offer me 18 months after all that. So it was that and the way that he started running the business that it really, like, he wasn't a professional. Like, after all the punk that went down, the boys got together and we had a meeting, and this was the boys only, no office. All right. And we're all like Sting's in there, Show, Jericho, Bryan, Mox, they're all standing at the front, kind of like talking us through this shit. And lo and behold, who comes into the room storming in? Daddy's little billionaire. And he's like yelling at us because I think it was Dax and Cash and Wheeler didn't want to come in. They didn't like the storyline, so they refused to come to TV that day. And he was like, listen, I'll put you in a 6-man 6 minutes before the show, and you're going to do it.
So here's some of the issues, Vince. Apparently that meeting never happened. or it didn't happen as he said it did, because here are some text messages from FTR, basically between Hager and FTR, and they were pissed because he used their name, and apparently they were not even in attendance at the meeting. He apologizes and said, yeah, probably shouldn't have said your name. I said, I think. And they're like, wait a second. If you said I think, people don't see the I think part. They see the this is what happened. There's a lot to unpack here, but Jake Hager talking out of school, there's some people not happy with him right now.
Yeah, I listen, man. I don't talk smack about my Tony, man. Come on, little Tony Khan. Where I just want to go to birthday parties. Coach, can I tell you where I always take Tony Khan's side and where I don't take Triple H's side? This
Please.
is the difference to me.
Okay,
guys. Tony Khan owns the company. He can do whatever he wants to do. It's Tony's company. It's Tony's money. If Tony wants to book a 6-man, a 12-man, a 20-man, a 40-man, it's Tony's company. You play by Tony's rules. That's my criticism towards Triple H. It ain't Triple H's company. So when I think Triple H is doing a horrible job creatively, I think Triple H needs to be replaced. Tony, who I think is doing a horrible job creatively, owns the company, so he can do whatever he wants to do. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
That's a very good distinction. And I always put it back on, I don't know who would technically be the owner of WWE. I know TKO owns them, but who is the guy that if he walked in the room, Vince, you'd be like, okay, he runs the show? Is that Ari? Ari's never been backstage at WWE, maybe Netflix night, but they don't have an authority figure there outside of Triple H.
Right. Unless who's the other big wheel? Shapiro? What's his role?
So Shapiro he's the financial guy. Yeah, he spent many years at ESPN, and he's like the CFO, the chief financial officer. That's why he's always the one on CNBC talking about tickets aren't priced, correctly. So it's those two guys, but that's the reason why his name's always out there. Do you have an issue with Jake? That was on Van Vliet's podcast, by the way. Do you have an issue with him telling this story at all?
Well, yeah, I kind of, Coach, again, do you and I have issues with topics today that we would have had issues with 10 years ago? Coach, you and I know there's a closed door meeting with the boys. Nobody talks about it. Nobody knows about it. 10 years ago, you and I know that. Just like, in professional sports, Coach, how many times when a team is slumping does the team call a meeting and it's just the players, it's not management, it's not the manager? You never hear what is said in those meetings. Ever. To this day, you don't know. That is taboo. Well, this used to be taboo, but under today's business, it's not taboo anymore. We're talking about everything. We're revealing everything. So in 2005, is it a big deal that he's talking about a meeting with the boys? Probably not.
It would have been 20 years ago. He wouldn't have been allowed back in the locker room if he was still there.
Absolutely.
He wouldn't have done this interview if he was still in the locker room. But there are certain ways, to your point, Vince, that you go about the wrestling business. It's like a magician. That if you give away a magician's tricks, you're not allowed back in the room with the magicians.
Right.
It's kind of the same in wrestling. So either Hager's done or he's just so angry about the way. But he said he was offered 18 months. In the wrestling business for a new company, I'm taking those 18 months.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to build on that.
I didn't have a problem with the 18 months. It just sounds to me that he didn't like. Listen, Coach, you and I know this. I think everybody knows this because I experienced this with Dixie Carter. Tony Khan's in way over his head. Okay, Tony Khan got in this because he loved wrestling, he loved booking, and he loved that aspect of it. Tony Khan's not Vince McMahon when it comes to being a boss. So he definitely is in way over his head. But it just sounds to me like he didn't like his booking style.
Didn't like his booking style. Probably didn't like the money either. All right, on the other side, we have a clash in Paris this week. John Cena, the heel turned babyface, but hasn't hit a little bit of a lull. We'll discuss next. Greatest rider in the business, Coach and Bro, live right here on Stadium. All right, you OGs, we continue on with our super stickers. Keep them coming in. We'll get to all of them. Vince at 70 Sid Harth says, will business with Saudi Arabia be good in 10 years? It'll probably be great in 10 years, I would think.
I would think as long as they have the money, man, it's going to be better than ever. Absolutely.
They're looking at it right now. They're trying to build to where, because right now, if you talk to an American, you say, hey, where are you going on vacation? Saudi Arabia. That never comes out of anybody's mouth. That's where they need to get to.
Yeah.
So this is going to take a long time, and it starts with sports, and then they want to move into people actually coming there on vacation. That's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Sean McDermott, keep him coming, big boy. You're our VIP. Tony Khan was just cast as Peter Pan in the Disney remake.
Hey, don't laugh. I would pay money to see that.
I would so pay money to see it. As long as he's fully in the get up.
Yes.
Fully in the the green with the oh my gosh. Now that's all I have in my head.
Mercedes Monet is Tinkerbell. Come on. Blockbuster.
Vince, you can't do that to me. You can't serve that up on a silver platter for me. Come on. You know, come on. Oh, by the way, somebody sent me. I thought about doing it on the show today. They sent me a link to basically. She says she's going to win every belt and every promotion, and now I kind of want her to do it. I want to see if she can get 15 or 16 belts and look as ridiculous as possible.
Coach, think about this because you know this is happening. Whatever belt she's getting from whatever outside organization, how much is Tony Khan paying that organization for? I bet you he's paying $100,000 at least to put one of those belts on her. I guarantee you.
Oh my God. I didn't even think about it like that.
Oh yeah.
I really didn't.
Absolutely.
I really did.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And you're taking it every time. You're
Absolutely.
taking
Absolutely.
every
Absolutely, I am.
Hilarious. We're back live on the Stadium Network in just 5 seconds. Okay, everybody, welcome back. It is the Coach and Bro Show here live on Stadium Valley Sports Live every single Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, Vince, I always like to tap into your writing expertise. And the biggest story of the entire year that I think that you would have crushed is the Cena retirement. And it kind of hit me the other day as we have the Clash in Paris coming up this Saturday. He's got a match with Logan Paul. We're down to 10 appearances. There's been rumors that he could face Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza in Indiana coming up in September. From a writing perspective, with everything that's laid out and the biggest storyline of the year, has it hit kind of a lull now that he's gotten back to being a babyface and there's not really that person in front of him to kind of get him going like Cody did?
Yeah, I mean, Coach, this was such a missed opportunity because they knew well in advance the time frame and the schedule of John Cena. If you're going to use that properly, you are going to use that to get maybe 3 talents you want over. So as soon as you've got that time frame, we're going to start building these 3 talents and we're going to incorporate them over the next year. They've failed to do any of that. And that's, you know, again, Coach, we always go back to yesteryear. That's how they would have done it yesteryear. A big star is on his way out. We're going to make 3 other people off of that. They've made nobody off of that. And again, but Coach, I'm going to go back to this. Who's the only guy they've really, really protected? Who's the only guy going on television every week saying he's an ex-WWE world champion? I would not be surprised if he put Sami Zayn over in the last match. I'm telling you. People think I'm crazy. Watch the show and listen.
I thought at first that you were just joking.
Nope.
No, I'm not talking today. I'm talking in general because everybody kind of has their go-to joke on shows.
Yep.
And Sami Zayn has kind of been ours because he's been included in this main event run or with main event talents, part of the bloodline, part of Kevin Owens, all that, but yet doesn't look the part and never has looked the part. But I'm starting to agree with you. Can you imagine if Sami Zayn is the last match on Saturday night's main event for John Cena in Boston on December 13th? With all of the names out there, all of the OGs, I don't mind Logan. Hell, I would invite Brock at WrestlePalooza. But Vince, can you imagine the reaction in Boston if Sami Zayn is the last guy?
Guys watching the show, nobody is going to say over and over and over and over again, one day I'm going to be the WWE World Champion, if it's not going to happen. Sammy has been planting those seeds now for 3 months. That is why he is doing it. So, Coach, I would not be the least bit surprised.
My goodness. But if that's the case, we're 3 or 4 months out. So that would go against everything we believe in as far as long-term storytelling is concerned.
Well, yeah, 3-4 years. I read a tweet the other day. I popped huge, and it was Bob Holly.
Bob Holly was on Twitter?
Yes, and he said I would have loved to see Sami Zayn standing across the ring in the Brawl for All. Think about that. Think about putting Sami Zayn. Think about the guys that were in the Brawl for All and putting Sami Zayn in the middle of that. Think about it.
Oh, my God. Hardcore used to, for people who don't know, go back to and watch Hardcore Holly. It doesn't matter when. It doesn't matter the show. Just go back and watch him. And for some reason, every time somebody brings up the name Bob Holly, I literally shudder and I run behind a door and I stand there and try to hide and I make him, my 260 pounds goes down. This is the scariest human being that liked me ever in my life.
Yeah.
He actually liked me.
Yeah.
I felt bad for people he didn't like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I remember one time we were in Hawaii, Vince, and we had a battle royal and Muhammad Hassan. Remember Muhammad Hassan?
Yeah.
Vince had just told him, hey, you got to protect your character. You're giving away way too much. And this kid's brand new. So Sergeant Slaughter, they wrestled in San Francisco the day before we go to Hawaii and Japan. What do you think Muhammad Hassan does? Sorry, Sarge. Vince told me I can't give that away to you. I can't do the stuff you want to do. To Sergeant Slaughter, one of the most beloved figures. So Sarge goes and tells The Undertaker, it balloons from there. We get to Hawaii, Vince. We're in a battle royal. And who do you think took it upon himself to handle business with Muhammad Hassan?
One Bob Holly.
Ding, 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 ding. The chest on Muhammad Hassan when he came back from that battle royal looked like sliced meat, like somebody just like taking knives and just because that was his go-to was just the slap.
And Coach, that's one thing I really miss. I miss the legit
tough guy.
Badass tough guys. I like people you wouldn't even know. Mark Canterbury of the Godwins. Bro, that guy would have taken your head off legitimately. Bro, the Harris brothers, as a shoot, used to walk into bars and start fights. That's what they did for fun. I miss the legit tough guys in wrestling. I miss that.
I love the idiots that test the legitimate tough guys and don't realize how tough they are.
Right.
Those are always like, oh man, you just made a mistake.
Yeah.
You just made a really bad mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's always too late. And I'll never forget Tito Ortiz, the legendary MMA fighter. We were in Seattle and I looked at him and I said, hey man, could you do this? And he was at the height of his stardom. And he looked at me and goes, Coach, this is way too hard for me. This is one of the biggest tough guys ever.
Yeah.
At 205 pounds.
Yeah.
And that's how tough wrestlers are. And somebody said, can you imagine Sami Zayn standing across at the Brawl for All from JBL. JBL would clothesline him to hell and back from said hell immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. All right, we only got a couple minutes left here on the show. By the way, Vince, do you like doing the show live? I like doing it live.
Love it. Love it. Yeah.
It's better live. It's better
Better
live.
live. Yeah. And again, Coach, with you, like, there's no pressure. We're relaxed. We tell it like it is. Yes, man, I really enjoyed it, and I'm thankful to have the following that we do.
We certainly do, and it grows every single day. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, continue to do that. We have a lot more content there. But now that we just have a couple minutes left, Clash in Paris, do you think, and don't laugh when I ask you this, because a lot of fans are like, it's got to happen. Brock Lesnar shows up at the Clash in Paris to set up WrestlePalooza. Yes, Vince Russo, or no?
No.
Why not?
I'm saying no because it's in Paris. That's why I'm saying no.
That's exactly how I feel. I laughed when somebody asked me that question seriously. We're talking about a man who's probably going to make $3 million for 7 appearances.
Right.
He's probably going to make $300,000 per appearance.
Right.
He ain't going to Paris. Man. He's not.
Yeah.
He barely wanted to go to New York from.
Yeah, and Coach, real quick, man, when they do a show overseas, they just repeat the show from the previous week. That's all they do. When it's a show overseas, you're going to get a repeat of the show the week before.
That's exactly right. They only travel so many now. And not everybody. They had a few house shows in between. It used to be 10 days in Europe. You do 10 shows.
Yeah.
Period. Point blank. Now it's like, we'll have a day off. We'll throw one here. We got TVs here. It's it's not nearly what it used to be.
Yeah.
Vince, love you, buddy. Great job today, as
Thank
always.
You. Thank you, Coach. You too.
All right, producer man. One shot. Appreciate it. Do not forget, if you missed any of the Bubba the Love Sponge interview, encourage you to go back and watch that on demand. The Last Word on Demand. Subscribe to both YouTube channels because we're just getting started. We're only a year into this thing, and you guys have made us an unbelievable success. We have a lot more things we want to do, educate you, the wrestling fan, but also help you to enjoy it more than you do right now. That's our entire job here. So we'll be back on Monday. We do this Monday and Thursday. Every single Thursday is live here on the Stadium Network, and we could not be more appreciative of the Stadium execs and the trust they put us in for 2 straight hours on their network every single Thursday morning. In the meantime, for Vince Russo from russosbrand.com, producer man behind the scenes, Dirt Sheet Dan, who always helps. I am the coach. This is the Coach and Bro Show. We'll see you next Thursday right here, live on Stadium. All right, you crazy cats. We have a few super stickers to get to. Vince, I really do love doing the show.
I want to smarten you up, though, because I love you, Coach, like a brother, and that's why I got to smarten you up from things I learned. Because I know, listen, you're doing a PFL, you're on ESPN, you're here, you're there. So sometimes I got to smarten you up on what's going on down here.
Oh, okay, smarten me up.
So I've been watching a lot of footage from, what happened in L.A. with Jackson and this, that, and the other thing, right?
Uh-huh. And
I've been watching a lot of these badass indie wrestlers, tough guys from LA. Okay. Been watching them. So I learned a new saying that we got to start using, Coach.
Okay.
When you want to challenge somebody, when you want to call somebody out, Coach, you got to look into the camera. You got to say, pull up, muffa, pull up.
Okay.
That's my new go-to. Pull up, Coach.
You want to test me? Pull up.
Yeah. Pull up,
motherfucker. It does kind of roll off the tongue.
Pull up.
All right, that's gonna be our new thing. Maybe we can get a sound. We gotta get a Coach and Bro sounding board because I know you have your own. Yeah. I haven't figured out how to have my own sounding board. Maybe you can teach me on that, or producer man.
I'd be happy to.
I love soundboards.
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys know, every single Thursday when we get done with the live show on Stadium, we handle all of the super stickers. And a reminder, they've got to be at least $5 or more because we get so many. So that's the whole reason for it. Coach, let's start with some guy. Coach, you were goated in WWE. Legendary heel, such an a-hole. I still can't unsee it. Thank you. To Vince, thanks for those great stories. It was can't miss television. I love notes like that, Vince. That's very nice.
Yeah, I love, Coach, when you're a heel and you're so good that people think that's who you really are. That's when you know you're doing your job.
I love it the most now. It doesn't even make me feel old anymore because, as you can see, I still look like I'm 25. I've been blessed by the aging God somehow. I don't know. Kimberly, though, Kimberly, she's our,
Yep, yep.
our high VIP. She took a shot at me the other day, Vince.
No.
She did. She took a shot at me, and you kind of had something to do with it.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
So you've been very adamant that you would never color your hair. Like you're
Never.
going to go au natural all the time.
Never.
You said you would never do it. So I've also said I am going to join in on that because I already do. And she claimed that I use Just for Men on the greatest goatee in America today.
Oh,
Like, look at this.
Coach.
Perfect goatee. And she's trying to claim that I used too much the other day. And I said, did I use it at all? That's the question. But you started this, Vince, and now Kimberly's continuing it.
You know what that is on Kimberly?
What's that?
That's pull-up talk, man. Coach, that's it, Kimberly. Kimberly, pull up, man.
Face.
Pull up, Kimberly. Pull up, Kimberly.
Look at this. Look at this. You see any color, any Just for Men there, Vince? Any Just for Men?
I don't see it, Coach. I don't see it.
I mean, that's what I look like without a hat on right there. Still gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Kimberly, no, there is no
yeah.
No, so just had to handle that real quick.
Very nice. Very nice. Pull up.
Pull up, Kim. Pull up. Sean McDermott, the 4th or 5th super sticker today. You're going to win our MVP award. I said it before anybody. Sammy has seen his last match. It's all coming together, guys. Now he's suddenly on SmackDown instead of Raw. Why? Because Cena's there. I need a place on the brand. I'm that good. LOL.
Hey, I mean, he is. I guess that trade happened in the middle of the night where Sammy got traded over to Smack. I don't even remember who he got traded for, but that's a good point, Sean. That's a very good point.
It is the most ridiculous thing in pro wrestling that we talk about. And this is what Adam Pearce does all the time. And I've heard, Coach, Adam Pearce, you got to quit criticizing him. He's a hell of a nice guy. And I say, listen, I'm criticizing Adam Pearce, the character, not the real life guy. They're two completely different things, Vince. We know that. They teach us that, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
And every one of his, this guy's here, or this girl's gone there, they treat it like it's a real sport, like it's really the NFL, like it's really Major League Baseball. You should be offended, Vince, as the baseball fan that you are, that they treat trades like, you're going from the Giants to the Dodgers.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
So ridiculous. I believe is that all the ones we have? So I had another one we didn't get to. Is the new RAF promotion Hulk and Eric were still running, still active? Wasn't the first pay-per-view meant to be last weekend? I did see. I think they're still going to run it.
I think it's this weekend. I actually think it's because somebody said it in the chat. It's this weekend. Somebody said it in the chat. Yes, Sean. Yes.
Kimberly, can you look that up for me, please, and let the chat know? I'm putting her in charge of the chat now. Kimberly is officially. You guys have any questions, especially on this show? Ask Kimberly. She can ask me. We have a text thing going. We have a couple more that just came across. QTL, let's go there. Do you think Khabib would have done that to McGregor in their feud, Raja style? No. And if you don't know this, Vince, Khabib Nurmagomedov is the greatest MMA fighter of all time. He was just at our PFL event because he has a big MMA gym. This, Vince, is how respectful this guy is. This guy, I'm the biggest fan after being around him the last few months. He appeared on a soccer show with a female host. She went to shake his hand. He went like this. In his culture, when you're married, you do not even shake hands with another female.
Wow.
After they went off the air, he then explained it to her. So that she didn't think he was being rude.
Yeah.
His dad was a legendary coach. His dad passed away from COVID 4 or 5 years ago. His mother asked him to stop fighting and run the gym for his father on a dime.
Wow, that's amazing.
He was offered tens of millions of dollars to continue to fight. He made Conor McGregor look like a little baby in their fight several years ago. And he said not even a chance he would ever lace him up again because his father, this is what he was supposed to do.
That's amazing.
So
That
he
is
never
amazing.
would have done that to Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
As much as he hated him,
Yeah.
Khabib's a great guy, guys. He is a great, great, great dude.
Amazing.
They had two of their fighters in our finals. We had 8 divisions. One was victorious. The other one lost in the finals. But he had 2 of the 8 divisions came from Khabib's gym.
Wow. Where is that? In LA?
Dagestan.
Oh, okay.
Dagestan, Russia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they all travel, and then they have a gym that they can work out in Florida when they're in the United States.
Yeah. Wow.
pretty
That's awesome. Yeah. Very cool.
Next one, Walrad says, what makes Coach and Bro magic is your real friendship. You respect us by getting genuine. It's clear you truly like each other. Please always stay friends first. Everything else will follow. Vince, they actually think we like each other.
You know what, though? You know, Walrad, yeah, seriously, man, like friendship is so important. And especially, you know, with me and Coach, when we know friendship in the wrestling business has a totally different meaning. You know, you go through years and years and years in wrestling, man, and you really you wind up losing a lot of trust because a lot of people aren't sincere. And that's when, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done and you could have real friends, it's the most important thing.
And it's the best thing too. It's the best thing too. In wrestling, I felt like there are some that you can not see for years, come back in, hug it out, and you're all good. But most of the time when they walk away, you never hear from them again. And I told Vince this, and I'll tell you guys this publicly. You know, we met a little over a year ago, and instantly I said, I need to work with this guy because this is what we do, yes, for a living. Everybody has to earn a living. But if you can do it and enjoy it, that makes it so much better.
Absolutely.
And we just passed a year. We're on national TV. We love it. We try to be as honest with you guys as we possibly can be because a lot of other people don't do that. And that's why we're growing.
Yeah.
And that's why we love all of you guys.
You know, I got to say it too, man. You know, and again, I'm a big fan of, you know, Mark Henry, but I saw Mark Henry's comments today for the first time. And man, it's like, you could just hear him towing that company line. And again, his son's at the WWE. I get it. But it's like, as a listener, because of his circumstances, I've got to kind of take everything he says with a grain of salt. That's why I always say, Coach, if I was ever offered a deal from a WWE or an AEW, that would never happen. But if I was and I decided to do it, you can't podcast at that point. You can't because, you know, whether you want to or not, you're going to be jaded. And even if you say something negative, you're not going to say what you really think or feel. So I would rather leave money on the table to have the freedom to speak whatever I want to say, whatever I'm feeling. That's very important to me.
I know it's I think it's the most important thing to you because that's really kind of the only thing that we've ever really like disagreed or argued about. But even our arguments are so respectful because we understand that it's not a good thing to always agree. I will also say this, that because of what you just said, when people say, oh, you guys just want to go back, not only is it more enjoyable to do a show like this and grow it, there's a lot of great shows out there that you could still earn a great living doing, and you don't have to travel 52 weeks a year. There's no part of me, none, that wants to travel 52 weeks ever again. I love my kids. I love my son's golf. It's so when people say that, Vince, I laugh. But I also been like, why do we go with the lazy narrative all the time? That's the easy, low-hanging fruit. Oh, you guys just want to go back.
Yeah.
Do you watch our show?
Yeah.
Do you watch our show? We don't want to go back. All right, a few more super stickers. You guys are amazing. They just keep coming in. Roland Curtis. Let's go to the Linda McMahon one, producer man. At Linda McMahon's confirmation hearing for Secretary of Education, Paul Levesque, Stephanie, Shane were front row, but at Triple H's Hall of Fame, only Linda McMahon and Stephanie were present. Pretty easy to explain that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Linda's always been she gets along with everybody. And if you've ever met Linda, she's like the most genuine, heartfelt, sweet person that you will ever meet in your life.
Yep.
For Shane, it's his mom. Mm-hmm. He's going to show up for his mom, whether he likes the people he's sitting next to or not. And make no mistake about it, Vince, because I was there when he said one too many McMahons in the kitchen. That's why he left the business, because of Triple H. That's just fact. We're not making that up. Yeah. That's what happened. So why would he show up to a Hall of Fame of a person that he simply does not like?
Yeah.
He's not going to, just to save face.
Yeah.
Yep. Because he didn't. Let's see. Let's go to McDermott talking about awkward. You and Jim Cornette and TNA, Vince.
What I'm not seeing.
So Sean McDermott says, talking about awkward working environments. Vince, what was it like walking into TNA with Jim Cornette there?
I'll be honest with you, Sean. It wasn't awkward at all, because all the years that I worked with Jim Cornette, he never, ever, ever said anything derogatory or negative to my face. The only time it's ever been done is when we've not been working together. Every time we were working together, he never one time said anything directly to me.
Isn't it funny how people have really big balls and I'm not saying anything about Jim Cornette, I'm talking in general, when they are in their basement in a studio like ours and they have a show and they never leave said basement. Yeah. They get really big balls then. Yeah. I've never been insulted to my face. I've never had anybody that's ever said anything negative about me on a show. I would welcome that, to be honest with you. Yeah. But again, they never leave their homes. They never leave their studios to get out and go to stuff. Yeah. We've got a sports question, Vince, from I Am Kevin Mari. Hey, Coach and Vince, love the show. What are your thoughts on a possible Major League Baseball realignment? All the best. This is your world, Vince.
Oh, I'm all in on this, because, Coach, they've got the Giants in the weakest division possible. No Dodgers. Can you imagine a San Francisco Giant division with no Dodgers going all the way back to Brooklyn? No Dodgers in the division. It's a mamby-pamby division. I'll take it.
It's 3 hours away. How are they not in the same division?
They're not in the same division. The San Diego and the Dodgers are in one division. The Giants are in a different division.
Wow. We missed this one, Roland Curtis.
Coach, we didn't talk about, maybe a producer man could make a note of this.
What's that?
Did you hear about Becky Lynch and Kelly Osbourne?
I'll get into that in a second. Okay. Yes, we got this one he just put up on the screen. No love for the firstborn. Shane McMahon voluntarily relinquished his heir position to WWE to Paul Levesque, and now Brooke Hogan voluntarily relinquished her heir position in Bolea's will to Sky Hogan. I don't think she was probably in the will. She said on the interview I listened to, she goes, I have nothing to do with my dad financially. I'm getting nothing. That was the first one. I told you, I just landed in Jacksonville. I was standing in line to get my rental car at 1:00 in the morning. And Vince, all of a sudden, that comes on my phone. Like, do you ever, like, stuff happens? You're like, how in the world did this just show up?
Yeah.
It was the most random thing. And all of a sudden, I'm listening to this interview. And she was like, I have no dog in the fight. I'm getting no money here. And I haven't. My dad didn't give me any money. And you've told a couple of stories of things that Hulk did that were opposite of what you should have done to support your daughter's music career.
Yeah, and she made it clear she didn't want to be in his will. Guys, if you ever get the opportunity to hear Brooke talk on Bubba's show, she is very intelligent. She is a very, very smart, intelligent woman.
She really, really is. Go back and he's got them all up there. Yeah. You can go find them. They're really, really good. Sean McDermott. I can't state the things he said he would do when Learn TNA had hired you. In a super chat, he quit the company on the spot until Dutch talked him around. It is what it is. Yeah. Thank you, Sean, by the way, you and the MVP. You know what I was thinking about, Vince, just now, and we'll get to the Becky stuff. So I have a new young lady. She's amazing. She runs our social media because as we're growing, you need people in certain spots. She has now come to me, Vince, and wants to start a completely new merch store. Completely new one. She'll run it. She's already a part of the company. What I was thinking, we get so many super chats every single day. A way to give back is, and we'll discuss this, but I want to discuss it live right now. On $10 or more, you can then have your name be put into a hat or a bag, something. And if there are 7 people at $10 or more, then one of those 7 would receive a Coach and Bro t-shirt every single show. They would be eligible.
Yeah.
I think we should try that. I think we should give back a
Absolutely.
little bit. And we're not just here to take the super stickers.
Yeah.
We want to get a little bit back. So this new merch store will be able to do codes and percentages off around the holidays. It's going to be a legit store, Vince.
Yeah.
And we got to figure out, what is your t-shirt going to be?
Oh,
That's the big question.
Interesting.
That's the big question.
Pull up.
Oh my God. That's got to be your first one. Pull up! Pull up! All right, producer man, make a note of that. We need to talk to our young lady about. We're gonna give away a shirt every. We'll see how it goes, but I like that idea. All right, Vince. So the Becky Kelly Osborne thing, if people didn't see it, the line, and when I heard it, I was like, man, this is very distasteful. But once you break it down, she didn't actually insult Ozzy Osbourne. She insulted the town of Birmingham.
Yeah.
But as it got back to Kelly Osbourne, and by the way, Ozzy's a WWE Celebrity Hall of Fame member, Kelly Osbourne was not pleased with it. Did you have an issue with Kelly being pissed, or do you think she didn't really hear the context of how Becky said, if I was from this town, I would have died too?
I think it was. Yeah, Coach, you know the saying, too soon. I think it was too soon to bring up anything about Ozzy's death, bro. It was 5 weeks ago. I mean, it was literally 5 weeks ago. Coach, I am getting so sick of this, and this was part of the problem. Coach, every single heel now, I don't care who they are ragging on the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Ragging on the city. Coach, remember we used to call that cheap heat? And like
it was the cheapest. It was the cheapest.
Yeah, and that's why I never wrote that. I never wrote it, because you've got every single person now doing it 5-6 times a show. And it's like, guys, come up with something original other than burying the hometown. Come on, man.
They all still do it. Mick Foley was the opposite. Mick Foley would do it to get the cheap pop, as he called it, the cheap pop.
Yeah.
But now it's and I don't even put it on the talent. I put it on the writers too. Because as I was told 6 years ago when I came back, Coach, we don't change any of the words. You have to write. You have to deliver what we hand you on a piece of paper. And I told that kid, get out of my face, and don't come back here and ever tell me that I'm one of the greatest talkers in the history of the business. Stop it. But that's how a lot of them work now.
Yeah.
So if Becky got that line, man. It is lazy.
Just lazy, man.
It is lazy. There's so many other ways. Like her line about John Cena a few weeks ago, one of the best lines of the year, if not of the decade.
Yeah.
Because that brought in real life stuff to it.
Right.
And that's what you always teach us. Make it real. It's got to be based off of reality. Don't you teach us that?
Absolutely. At least a shred of reality. Yes.
Wow, it's amazing. All right. We got to get out of here. Vince, your final thoughts as we head into Clash in Paris. I know that you're motivated. We got the bro. You just said it. Can you imagine? Nothing will happen on SmackDown, but yet you have to sit through it for the bro down on Friday night to get ready for Saturday's Clash in Paris. Do you think anything will happen on SmackDown?
Coach, I'm being 1,000% serious now. You know, I do work with Sportskeeda, and then I've got a Raw SmackDown review on Russo's brand. Coach, I am not exaggerating. It's at the point now where the show is over. Now we're doing the review. There's nothing worth talking about. Like we on my own channel now, on the Raw SmackDown review, we don't even talk about Raw SmackDown. They're literally giving us nothing to even talk about. And I'm like, Come on, guys, give me one angle. Just give
Just
me
one.
one. Just give
Just
me
one.
one thing to talk about.
It's almost as if, because we want this. Like I was so excited after SummerSlam that at least we got something that surprised us, and then we could sink our teeth into. It's not that we don't want it. We want these things to happen, but I feel like, and it's got to be way more frustrating for you because I was talent and I was announcing, and so I was busy
Yeah.
from a writing perspective. When you see this kind of stuff, and and we all know, you could write 10 times the amount of good storylines in the same amount of time, but yet they have so many shows on every single night of the week. It's almost like, hey, let's just get to the start line and then get to the finish line.
It is.
But the race or the game doesn't matter.
Nope. Everything's about the match. Everything on every show. That's it.
Wow. It's got to change.
There might be another last minute sticker.
Oh, okay. How many super chats are worth a free week in Vince's luxury Airbnb? I'm visiting family in the Bronx next summer. Could be very useful.
That's Sean. That's our boy Sean. We're gonna have to discuss that, Sean. We're gonna have to discuss that.
You have an Airbnb?
Upstate New York, man. Yeah.
Whoa. About 4 months ago, I went to upstate New York.
Are you kidding me?
And I told you about it. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
That'd have been funny.
Coach, anytime you're up there, you just let me know. You'll be taken care of.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
One free night on a 7-day rental. Thank you, Vince, very, very much. All right. We are here every single Monday and Thursday. Monday night, 5 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, Thursday, we are live on the Stadium Network and also on YouTube at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And can I tell you one more time? We love doing this so very, very much. We'll work on the merch giveaway. I got to talk to the bosses. I may have overstepped, but I know the guy that runs the place, so we'll see what happens. For Vince Russo, for Producer Man, for everybody that works on the show, Dirt Sheet Dan, thank you to all of you. Have a great day. Enjoy the first weekend of college football, which kicks off tonight with a bunch of games on Thursday night. In the meantime, this is the Coach and Bro Show from BTT Studios, and we will see you next time. Take care.